911, what's the location of emergency?
Oh my God, I need somebody out here.
What's going on?
Oh God.
There's 4 people.
In my mama's house, and
Who are these people that are in the house?
it's my mom and my grandma and my granny and my stepdad.
On the night of November 1st, 2015, 911 got a call from a woman scared out of her wits. She had just found her mother, her mother's husband, and their mothers all brutally murdered in their trailer home. And what's even crazier, they were all murdered in the same way: a slashed throat and a gunshot wound to the head. Walking in on your murdered parents is the worst nightmare of any person, of any age, of any social status. Unfortunately, this became the case of Amy Vilardi, who walked in on the brutal murdered body of her parents, blood strewn across the room. This was real-life horror, and you can bet it shook her to the very roots of her soul. But they didn't go down without a fight, because all over the house were bloody handprints, alongside the knife wounds in their hands, a sign that each victim has tried their hardest to fight back before being unfortunately killed. But who could have done this? As the Anderson County Police raced to the scene, they revealed that it was likely the most horrific crime scene they'd ever seen. 4 people, Mike and Kathy Scott, Barbara and Violet, all dead in brutal fashion. All through the course of the investigation, the detectives constantly felt as though there was some missing piece just evading their mind. Then it clicked. There was no sign of entry being forced, and all the valuables were left in the open. So this removed any chance of this being a robbery. What it was is just plain cut murder, and the killer had to be someone the deceased knew and had let in by themselves. Who could it be? Amy herself, maybe? The trail was quickly running cold. Evidence was reducing, and there was nothing the cops could do about this. So, for 10 years, the case ran cold. But the detectives from Anderson County never stopped being suspicious of Amy and Ross. More suspicions were raised because Amy's social media revealed constant conflicts with her parents, and a video showed Ross making a chilling statement that would haunt him.
Why don't you have Grandma come out here real quick?
I don't think your grandma wants to deal with this trash.
Yeah, I'll show you, stop.
Yep, yeah. Oh,
And then look.
This further strengthened the suspicion about both of them. Now in 2023, the case reopened. More skeletons in numerous cupboards are about to be revealed.
Hey, are you Ross? I'm Tyler Duncan. I'm with Anderson County Sheriff's Office. This is Steve.
How you doing?
As questioning of different acquaintances and family members began, different stories and suspects began popping up in different areas, one of which was Roxy Vorez, a former employee of the couple.
Ross had made a joke and said, do you want me to It was a joke at the time.
Right.
Then later I was like, holy, I'm glad I didn't say yeah.
Name you right. What was your job there?
A bather, and I was learning in the process of grooming.
When you worked for the shop, you said they were just getting started, so they weren't very successful yet.
They appeared that they were fine.
Okay.
But then I would hear arguments of them, and a lot of it was money related. When I started working for her, I seen Kathy and Mike at the grooming shop. I was in the back grooming, so I didn't hear everything that was going on, but it was something to do with money.
Okay.
Throughout working there, she'd always tell me about how she was treated growing up and all of that.
What kind of stuff would she say about how she was treated?
She told me that she was always a daddy's girl, and she said her dad had he was working on a car and it crushed him, and he was placed in the hospital. And her mom decided to pull the plug. She always hated her mom for that.
To Roxy's best knowledge, the couple were always arguing about money-related issues, while they may seem happy and alright to the outside world. As light and truth poured on the investigation, it was revealed that Amy had such a striking deep resentment to her mother, Kathy, and that the business was struggling financially despite the couple's lavish lifestyle. So how were they able to afford the more than lavish lifestyle they were living? Surely a family with a Mustang, a truck, and 2 premium Harley motorcycles would have a booming business. But this isn't conclusive evidence, and some other suspects lay about also, waiting for the connection to occur. And as the police went deeper into the investigation, a clearer picture began to come together.
With the daughter, got angry with her and kept the children from Kathy.
So tell us about that.
It seemed that they really tried to help Amy a lot. And Mike and Kathy, they really took care of the kids. And it broke Kathy and Mike's heart. She just really missed the kids, and the 2 older ladies that lived there, they were used to the kids coming in and out.
You think Kathy was afraid at all of Amy and Ross?
No, she never expressed that. But it was always the talk of the area that Mike would go to flea markets and he would get some kind of video games that he collected. There was a good resale market for them, and that he would buy any old jewelry that had some gold in it. It was always a rumor that he kept a lot of cash and gold stuff around.
First, Mike Scott was known in the community to have a substantial amount of cash on hand, as he distrusted the banking system. This made him a prime target, especially for those who were close to him. Second, the detectives also discovered that the pet grooming business run by Amy and Ross was not nearly as profitable as the couple had claimed it was. They got the official bank records, which showed that their reported income in 2013 was just $25,622.09. Yet in the following year, Ross had made an extravagant purchase, a Ram truck for $14,200, a Mustang for $5,700, and 2 Harley motorcycles totaling $15,000. These luxury items totaled nearly $35,000, far exceeding their stated earnings. Another damning evidence was this picture of Mike Scott sent to a co-worker a few days before his death. The picture contained a couple of $100 bills whose serial numbers matched the cash found in a safe in Ross's trailer. While Ross had initially said the cash was from their savings, with a business that is financially incapacitated, how does one save $100 bills? With timelines clashing and financial records proven to be a serious matter, the detectives became more wary, and even as they were investigating other suspects in this case, Amy and Ross became the prime suspects. To make sure they caught the actual murderer, an ingenious trap was set, with a near guarantee that the real murderer would be caught by it. Earlier, a footprint had been found at the crime scene, and this would lead directly to the murderer of the 4 elderly people. Then, the footprint was discovered to be an exact match for an Asics shoe owned by Ross, with blood splattered on the red shoe. As one would expect, Ross denied any signs of involvement, claiming he didn't know where the shoe was.
There was something that had come up. You remember owning a red pair of shoes?
A pair of shoes?
Asics Speedstar shoes.
Don't recall.
These Asics Speedstar shoes.
Okay, I remember those shoes.
What happened to the shoes?
That's a good question, because I have no idea.
This is from crime scene photos, and these are confirmed to be Asics Speedstar shoes.
Okay.
Inside, and they have blood droplets on them. And interestingly enough, you're at the Quick Trip wearing those shoes the night of the murders.
Okay.
So if you never went in the house, I'm just interested to know how they ended up in the house.
I have no idea how those shoes would have had any kind of blood on them.
As the investigation progressed, Ross continued to deny any involvement, unaware that the detectives had unraveled his and Amy's entire scheme. The officers, however, remained steadfast, determined to uncover the truth. After interviewing both Amy and Ross, the detectives were ready to confront the couple with their findings. They knew that Ross had been lying, and they were prepared to reveal that they were fully aware of his and Amy's roles in the quadruple homicide. Finally, just 4 days after these intense interviews, the shocking truth was exposed. Amy and Ross Vilardi were arrested in Pendleton, South Carolina, and charged with the brutal murders of Kathy Scott, Mike Scott, Barbara Scott, and Violet Taylor. The couple was held in prison without bond, awaiting their trial, where they would face the consequences of their actions and the judgment of the court. As the community grappled with the chilling realization that the killers had been hiding in plain sight all along, the stage was set for Amy and Ross to answer for their crimes, and for the families of the victims to see the justice they deserved. With the charges amassed, Amy and Ross were facing life imprisonment.